What do you think, kitty? Should we do a readathon? Yeah? What do you think? Okay. She's very clingy today because John took her to the vet earlier. And she's very unhappy when she goes to the vet. So she has an anti-anxiety that she takes before going to the vet. And that tends to make her very like clingy for the rest of the day. So she's gonna be my buddy for this readathon. Also, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I have a hat on, but my hair is a mess. This cat right here, she's just like rubbing up against all the books. Yeah, so starting today, I have decided that since we have the weekend off and John's actually gone for the whole weekend, well, for today and tomorrow, I'm gonna do a readathon, cause why not? And so for this readathon, it's gonna take place over the course of 3 days because I'm over 30 and staying up for 24 hours straight is just not a good idea for me. Also, I'm starting this at like noon because, yes, okay, this isn't working. Also, I'm starting this at like noon, so yeah, that's a thing. But my hope is that I have read a couple books this year, but I feel like I'm not back into a reading mode at all, so I would like to get back into that mode. I've been sick, I've been not feeling well, and I have time, so why not? So, starting today, I do have a timer. I do actually have an iPad. I use it mostly for art purposes and stuff. I used to use it for taking notes when I was in school. But I am going to use it for a 24-hour timer now. And like I said, it's going to be over the course of 3 days. So I'm going to attempt to read for about 8 hours each day. Basically turning reading into a job. This hat makes my head look weird. Anyways. I do have a TBR that I would like to read, and the first book that I'm going to start off with is going to be Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. I do not have the dust jacket on right now. I am this far in. I am approximately 110 pages into this book, about a quarter of the way through. It's good. It's a YA story about a girl who is a kitsune or a half kitsune, so she's half fox. She's half fox demon, and she basically ends up she needs to protect this scroll that can summon a dragon that can grant any sort of wish that the bearer would have. And it also follows a 17-year-old, so a boy who is tasked by his master, he is part of the Shadow Clan, in order to acquire this scroll, but he doesn't realize she has it. So they're traveling together. It's a whole thing. I have a stuffy nose, I'm sorry. I need to do a couple chores around the house first, like I need to go shovel the driveway, that kind of stuff. I'll eat. I just ate, so that was good. I have coffee. I have coffee now. And the cat's left. She'll be back. But I wanted to show you the other books that I'm hoping to read. First one being Worst in Show by Anna E. Collins. These are books that were on my TBR for January, so that's why they're on here. This is a romance at a dog show, that's all I know. I would really like to pick up With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This one, I believe, is teen pregnancy. I don't remember, but I am very excited, and I've heard very, very, very good things about this. I have read from Elizabeth Acevedo before, and I liked her writing, although I read The Poet X, so it's a little bit different. This one is in novel format rather than written in prose, so we'll see how that goes. And then I would also really like to read Forging Silver into Stars, yes, by Bridget Kemmerer. Again, John picked this one because it sounds like it's inspired by Norse mythology, I think. I don't remember. Smith magic is always fun. And then the last one that's on my TBR for this month is The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. This one is always bigger than I remember it being, and it always makes me nervous. But I believe this one's like a Romeo and Juliet sort of retelling, so, but with violence and swords and daggers and fire, apparently. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I think I'm going to try and save this one for last because I have a feeling I'm going to really like it. But we're going to jump into reading Shadow of the Fox. I do also have some other books that I could get into. I have Witches of Dubious Origin. I have X Marks the Haunt. I've got a bunch of books that I probably should read, so I'm gonna jump in. I'll start the timer with you guys when I start. My mom is sick right now, so I might go visit her later as well, so I'll need an audiobook for the drive over to where she is. But for now, yeah, that's where we're at. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, let's get started. Check-in. So timer's paused because we are currently at 21 hours and 9 minutes remaining, 9 minutes 49 seconds remaining in this readathon, and I finished my first book. Granted, I actually had already started this one. I was already a good 100 pages into this book, but it is over 400 pages, I believe, right? Yes, 409 pages. So pretty happy with this. I enjoyed this book. I mean, I enjoyed it the first time I read it as well, so I definitely want to finish this trilogy finally. I haven't read the second or third books, but I own them both. So those are going to be pretty high priority for me to try and finish, hopefully this year, if not sooner, so I don't forget everything, because even now I'm starting to forget some of the characters and everything, and that is a problem that I run into quite often with books. So maybe not tonight. All I want to do now is jump into the next one. But I have a TBR. I have books that I need to read. But I just want to read this whole series now. I just want to sit down and binge the whole thing. I don't know what to do. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Mostly the reason that it's getting a 4 out of 5 instead of, I think I rated it a 5 the first time I read it, is that for me, YA just doesn't have that same appeal. And I did find it was a little bit slow in places. It took me a little bit to get in, not to get into so much as it took me a little bit to want to read it. And I think that might have been partially because I wasn't specifically in a reading mood, which is unfortunate. But I'm glad I started with this one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely one I would recommend. It is a YA book, but I still think it's a very good YA book. It's very sweet. To a point, which is very odd to say about a high action story based in Japanese mythology. Let's see if I can summarize this for you. This book follows Yumeko, who is a half kitsune girl who is dropped off at a temple when she is a baby, and she is raised by the monks there at the temple. And at the start of this book, the temple is actually attacked by a horde of demons. We also meet Tatsumi, Kage Tatsume, who is a member of the Shadow Clan, and he wields a blade known as God Killer, or God Destroyer, something like that. has a longer name. I don't remember it. I'm sorry. But in essence, he is constantly fighting a battle with this sword, the sword is essentially a demon that has been captured, and he has to keep his emotions and everything in very tight control in order to keep the demon from taking over him, essentially, and going on a rampage. So their paths cross because of an artifact that is at the temple where she lives, and when the temple is attacked, she is tasked with protecting this artifact and to not tell anybody about it, and he is looking for it for basically the head of his clan, and it gets very interesting very quick. I love all of the like mythology and such within this. I really love the story. I love the characters. They're so much fun. And yeah, I think it does deal with some interesting topics, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. So, yes. Overall, good book. I'm gonna go to bed though, because it's the next day, essentially. I did not do what I planned on doing, and I did not read for 8 hours today. I read for like 3. I'm bad at this, parent. I'm not good at 24-hour readathons. I'm gonna have to try and decide what I'm gonna read next, because I just want to read the next book in the series, which I do have. The second book is called Soul of the Sword. I don't remember what the third one is, but it's purple, because it's red, blue, and purple books, and that's how I remember them. I just want to sit down and read them, but I shouldn't. I should have my TBR. I'm gonna have to think about it. Alright, but it's time for bed. Decided I couldn't go to bed, or I couldn't fall asleep yet, so I'm gonna read this is a new arc I just got by Jeanette Winterson. This is One Aladdin, Two Lamps. It is a essay collection, I believe. I believe it's an essay collection, so I'm gonna read an essay or two or something. Short story, I'm not sure. From here. I remember it was interesting when I read the description, but it's been a little while since I did that, so we're gonna jump into this one. And we're gonna keep going. Though this one I probably won't finish in this vlog. Come here. Come here. Such a good girl. Yes. Such a good girl. Grab a toy, grab a toy. Oh, you're such a good girl. Oh, yes, you are. Yes. And we have a kitty. Oh, a big kitty. Likes his foot twitches and the ropes. The rough rubs. The rough pets. Alright, so now that I am thoroughly covered in dog hair, like, it takes 2 seconds here. We'll go make a coffee. There he is. Yeah. This is Dorito. Oh, he likes the rough pets. Oh. Yeah. Okay, buddy. I know, you could let me pet you like that all day, though. Alright, we're gonna do Keurig. I'm not far in. I'm like 25 pages. I forgot my bookmark. I am at my parents' house today, so that's why I wrote a different place. I'm just here for a couple hours. So I've always had a thing with romance books that I'm very iffy on them because they're so formulaic. And I know that's the point of them, but unfortunately some of the ones for me, like the formula doesn't work. Like when it starts off with a misunderstanding and then it just doesn't get better, I get annoyed because that just to me tells you that, because it's a whole thing. But in my opinion, it tells me that these people aren't mature enough for the relationship that they're trying to have anyways. So why are they doing this? And it annoys me. And I understand people get upset about things, but honestly, I'm just like, it's okay. I'm reading Worston Show right now, by the way. It's okay. It's just like I don't like his attitude. I don't like her attitude. It's just meh. We'll see. I'm gonna keep going for a little bit, but I may not finish this one. We'll see. I'm just not highly entertained. I'm not captivated by the characters yet, if that makes sense. So we'll see. All right, after a long day, oh, let me pause this actually. All right, so after a long day of not reading like I planned, I ended up spending like 7 hours with my family today. Fine, where everything's good, but I just didn't plan on it. Anyways, I am about 160? Yes. 160 pages into Worston Show, and I have to admit this book is growing on me. I wasn't sold at the beginning. I didn't like her attitude. I'm hesitant about contemporary versions of Enemies to Lovers. I like it done, but I'm very hesitant on it. And I really like this one. This is honestly a lot of fun. I am thoroughly enjoying myself. It is a very quick read. I'm still sitting at 19 and a half hours left in this readathon, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, overall, honestly, I'm like a little over a third of the way through, and I'm enjoying this. So yeah, that's my update. Alright, so I have finished book number 2 of this readathon, Worston Show by Anna E. Collins. This turned out to be really, really adorable. I thoroughly enjoyed myself for this one. This follows rival dog store, well, pet store owners. We have Cora and Leo. And Cora is helping to manage her grandfather's shop. It is a mom pop kind of shop. And Leo moves in across the way with a shop that is much more like corporate. It's a family-owned business. It's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? There's whole bunches of them. And they end up kind of, it's enemies to lovers. It was very, very cute. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was surprised. It took me a little bit to get into, so I think I'm going to settle about like a 3.75 for this one, in a good way. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I will be keeping this book. I did like it. I thought it was a lot of fun. The dogs were my favorite part about this book. I really liked their banter as well. It was a lot of fun, so yes. Thoroughly enjoyed. I still have 17 hours and 49 minutes though left on my timer here. See, timer. So I gotta go pick some more books. I think I'm gonna get through more books in these 24 hours than I thought. What do you think, kitty cat? I have kitty cat right here. Hi. No, okay. But yeah, so I'm gonna go pick out a new book to read, and then I'll let you know. I think I'm gonna jump into the Dagger and the Flame and the Dagger, whichever one it is. I don't remember which one. I think that's gonna be the next one. We'll see. that was quite the start to Dagger in the Flame. I did not expect us to start with something like that. I'm 10 pages in. I'm 10 pages in. I look like I'm like dying. I don't know. I look terrible. I am 10 pages in. I look terrible, and I have read the prelude and I am hooked. So I think the way to do these for me is to switch back and forth between genres. So I did fantasy, and then I did romance, and I'm back to fantasy again. And I'll do another contemporary probably after this one, because I think I'm going to read With Fire and High afterwards. So, yes. But fantasy. I know about this one is that it's kind of a Romeo and Juliet retelling. And I'm always hesitant about those because there's just so many of those out and around. My voice is going, I'm sorry. But first 8 pages were good. The cat is having a bath. It's cold, so I guess that means I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna read today. Alright, so we have 16 hours and 3 minutes left. I am 134 pages into the Dagger and the Flame. This one, I'm not gonna lie, so I picked up the audiobook because it's on Spotify, and so I have it on Spotify, which I always forget that I can listen to audiobooks on Spotify, but it's only a certain number of hours, so I need to remember that. But I'm listening to it on like 2.2 speed because it's just so slow, and that's my problem with listening to audiobooks sometimes when I have the time to sit down, is that like I'll sit and I'll read while I'm listening to the audiobook, but I'll read faster than the audiobook, so then I just had to skip ahead to the end of the chapter because I finished the chapter even though the audiobook's still in the middle. And it's a bad habit, but I do read faster than my audiobooks tend to. What chapter am I? I'm on chapter 10. I like it so far. It's pretty good. It's a fun kind of story so far. I can see the draws to the Romeo and Juliet general story. I'm enjoying it. It's not a favorite yet. I know it's a duology, I believe. Well, at least there's 2 books out. I don't know if there's only going to be 2 books or if there's going to be more than that. But I need to film a video. So I'm going to take a break. But so far, so good. I do think I'm going to just end up sitting and reading this one because I'm going to read it faster than the audiobook. The audiobook is technically 15 hours long. Although I think I have, like, what do I have left? I have 10 hours and 2 minutes left in the audiobook. I am 27% of the way through and I'm at 2.2 times speed. So there we go. So we're going to keep going. This follows 2 characters. We've got Seraphine and Ransom. And Seraphine, at the very beginning, her mother is killed and her home is burnt down. And she runs to the home of basically a gang known as the Cloaks. And the Cloaks are essentially thieves. And they are known as thieves, and they use shadows, basically shadow magic of sorts, in order to hide them. We did learn that her mother was a smuggler who provided these shadows to the Cloaks, which is why Seraphine ran to them. And then Ransom is a dagger? He's a dagger. Yes, he's a dagger. I don't know why I had trouble thinking of that. He's a dagger who is sent to kill her and kind of is failing. It's a very interesting story. Weirdly enough, it's reminding me of a Dance of Cloaks a little bit. Not in a bad way, like in a good way. I love Dance of Cloaks. I need to finish that series. But I'm curious to see where this goes. It's not often I feel like we see a female who's just ready to kill everybody on sight. And so I'm very intrigued by this. I love seeing the friendships they both have within their respective clans, gangs, whatever they are. And I'm curious about this monster as well. So we'll see what happens. I am enjoying this thoroughly, though, I think. I don't know. I feel like I'm not far enough in to know, and I'm a quarter of the way in. So, but so far so good. I'll keep going, but I'm gonna film a video first, and then I will continue. All right, we are officially halfway through The Dagger and the Flame. I am thoroughly enjoying this. This has gotten so much better as I've continued to read it. I really like the characters. I love the world building. I love how we're still expanding on things. Though we're halfway through and we like half have an answer to some of the questions. I'm curious where it's going, and I'm curious what everybody's gonna do about it. And I'm curious because there's more than one book in this series. Is it all gonna follow the same problem? Is it all gonna follow the monster problem, or what's it gonna do? I don't know, but I wanna know. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm sitting at 14 hours and 50 minutes left, so we'll see. We'll just go and keep going. Just keep going. All right, I have finished The Dagger and the Flame. For the life of me, I cannot remember the title of this book, but my copy's weirdly bent, and I didn't realize that until I was reading it. But I read it, and now I really do need to know what happens, and I'm kind of irritated that I realized this is a trilogy. I thought this was a duology, and so I could just binge it, and I can't binge it because the third one isn't even announced yet. That's unfortunate. I'm giving this about a 4, I think. I think it's getting a 4 out of 5. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that the magic was fascinating. I really like the shadow magic and being able to like manipulate it in different ways. The different ways you can use it. I liked that a lot. I liked that there was a lot of tension between the two groups, and I liked how things kind of tied together. There were a lot of things that unfortunately for me just felt really too convenient, and I had problems with Sarah, her as a character. I just really wanted her to calm down for like 2 seconds. just calm down for 2 seconds, honey. That's all I wanted. And for her to just like look at things, because she could not calm down for the life of her, and it was a lot. But overall, I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I do want to know what happens, so I will eventually pick up the sequel. Maybe I can get the Book of the Month version, so then I have matching ones, but I don't know if I can do that or not anymore. I don't know if it was an edition or if it was a monthly one. Anyways, and then I still have 13 hours and 15 minutes left on my timer. So I'm going to figure out what I'm reading next. But I did enjoy this one. I saw the Romeo and Juliet stuff. It got really complicated. I really enjoyed how they made it get complicated. Yeah, I liked it. I did like this one. Yeah. Ignore the mess behind me. So, it's a couple weeks later. No, I'm not kidding. It's several weeks later. My timer is actually sitting at 12 hours and 31 minutes left. So I'm going to officially call the readathon failed. However, I did read, and I will say for the last about hour that I didn't film, I started a new book, and I started The Spare Room by Andrea Bartz. I got 61 pages into this, to chapter 12. This is a thriller that follows, what's her name? It's been a couple weeks. Kelly, who during COVID, her and her husband have a falling out. We don't know what it is about. And she ends up going and living with a new friend of hers, someone she went to school with and then lost contact with, but then her new friend has gotten very popular online. And Kelly goes and stays with her friend and her husband for COVID. They're isolating, just 3 of them. And I believe they start some sort of kind of relationship. However, she learns what might have happened to the person who occupied the spare room before her. This is a thriller. It is a psychological, this is a thriller. It was fine. I was enjoying it. I don't know if I even want to say I was enjoying it. I was reading it. It was fine. So I got 60 pages here. I'm not doing the math fully right now. Let's go through and what I managed to do in the first 12 hours basically of this readathon. I finished Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this book. I think I gave it a 4.5 or a 5, something. I gave this one a high rating. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I do want to complete the series. I do have it. It's This one, Shadow of the Fox, then Soul of the Sword, and Night of the Dragon is the third one. I could not remember that one. Saved my life when I was filming this earlier. So I finished that one. Then I jumped into a romance. I jumped into Worst in Show by Anna E. Collins. Enjoyed this one more than I thought I was going to. It took me a little bit to get into, but once I was into it, I was thoroughly enjoying myself. How many times can I say thoroughly enjoying myself in this video? You'd be amazed. And then I jumped into what was kind of my the book I was most nervous for on this TBR, and that was The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. I did pick up the sequel from Book of the Month. It was my add-on for this month, this month, because February was the month that it was on the list. So it's February 1st. Sorry, guys. And yeah, so I did finish this one, ended up giving it another high rating. I'm getting the sequel. I am so excited to see what happened. I will say I'm more intrigued by the magic system, I think, than I am by anything else, but I'm still excited. So, and then I picked up The Spare Room, and I read 61 pages in it, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, that's really all I read until the end of January. I did not finish another book in January, I don't think. I really didn't. I did read at least 20 pages or listen to 20 minutes of my audiobooks throughout the month, but I did not finish anything else, I don't think. Which is unfortunate, but that's about where we're at. So I would call it successful as far as how much I got read. I would not call it successful as far as that I didn't finish it. So I'm going to try again. We'll try again another weekend and see if I can do better next time. But I did do some reading, and I would call this not bad. I would say this isn't bad for 12 hours of reading. I am a bit of a fast reader. I always really have been. But that's just the way it goes. That's the way I am. So that's what I got for you now. If you enjoy this, I know this is going up a little late, but that's just, it's been a time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out in the long run. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, keep reading, and keep moving forward. Thanks. Bye.